Hello students, welcome back to the next session on pointers. In this session, we will be talking about array of pointers. We know what a pointer is now, right? Pointer is a variable which stores the memory address of another variable. So, why are we going to make use of array of pointers? If you have a larger number of elements in a group, then it is not possible to go on declaring each and every element with a pointer name, different pointer name. It increases the size of the memory. So what do you do is, instead we use the array of pointers. The syntax for this is data type star array name and size. Okay, so as an example, we say integer star array pointer and the size, that is this pointer contains 5 elements in the array. Okay, this is how you are going to use the array of pointers. In the same way, we can use strings, pointers and strings. You already know what a string is. If you are making use of characters, or that's letters, then we use your strings. So it is a sequence of, string is a sequence of characters. It is also your one-dimensional character array. In pointers also we can make use of strings, but it starts with the starting address of the string will be assigned to a pointer and it points to the first character of the array. Later if you want to continue, you can increment the counter. That is, for example, let us just say we have we are going to declare it as a character, the S for string. We will be using the word computer science. Okay, so computer science. Okay, this is a initialization, right? Now if you want to declare it as a pointer, how do you do that? Character, we say string, str, string pointer, and this string pointer is equal to S. Remember, this is how you are going to give the starting address of the string. Only starting address of the string is uninitialized, not S of I, just S. So this assigns in your assignment statement will include the initial address of the string computer science, that is S of 0, that is C for computer science. Then therefore now the initial address S is for S of 0. If you want to increase or increment, you are going to give it as str ptr plus plus, that is it has incremented, it points to the next position. Then you say str ptr, this gives you the value, this displays the next letter, that is S of 1 of O. S of 0 means C, O, and then again str ptr string pointer plus plus, that is it increments to the next, that is S of 2. So if you say give the asterisk and give this, then it gives you S of 2, that is equal to COM, computer. Okay, in this way you are going to go for your strings in pointers. And coming to the next important part of this chapter, that is your memory allocation. Memory allocation. Now you know what do you mean by memory, right? Memory is a place where you are going to store the data, both the input and the output. That is, data and information will be stored in memory, and you also know the different types of memory that we are using, primary, secondary, and all these things. So all the data that you are using, data, instructions, programs, whatever you are giving has to be given to the memory first. It is where it is processed. So the beginning itself you are going to store it in memory. So there are two types of memory allocation. One is your static memory allocation and the next is your dynamic memory allocation. Now, what do you mean by this static memory allocation? Static memory allocation means the memory will be allotted or data instructions will be allotted during the time of compilation or at the compile time. You know what do you mean by compilation, right? Compilation means where you are going to check the programming or codes for your errors. That is what you mean by a compilation. So memory is allotted at the time of compilation. For example, integer number. Number is a variable. So 2 bytes of space will be allotted for this during compilation. And next is your dynamic memory allocation. Here, however many number of bytes is required for data and instructions will be allotted at runtime. That is at the time of execution. After your compilation, everything is working, right? That is what you mean by a runtime. So it allots the memory at runtime. Here you have two types of operators in this, new and delete. This is what is very important operators in this chapter, which carries 3 marks, new and delete. Explain the new and delete operators with syntax. That's what they may ask you with just one simple example. Okay, new and delete are the operators used in dynamic memory allocation. And as we have already told you, dynamic memory allocation is used in pointers. Okay, now coming to the new pointer. What is this new pointer? It allocates the memory, that is, it gives the space to store. And referring to a pointer, it uses pointers to give a new allocation, that is new space is given to store. That is what you mean by a new operator. The syntax is pointer variable equals new data type. This is the syntax. If you want an example, we say IPTR equals new integer. We are going to use the word keyword new to allot the space. In this example, IPTR is the variable and the new operator allocates 2 bytes of memory and assigns that to your IPTR. Similarly, you can use for your characters, floats, whatever it is. Now, what are the differences between your static memory allocation and dynamic memory allocation? Static and dynamic. As we said, it allots memory at the time of compilation. Here, it allots memory at runtime. Allots memory at runtime. And the lifetime of the variable is in static is complete, the lifetime. It is valid throughout the life of the program. Here you can control the exact size and the lifetime of the memory locations. This is what the difference is, major differences between your static memory and dynamic memory. Now we have already gone through your new operator, that is which is used to allocate memory. That is assign memory space. Now the next operator is your next part is your deallocation. What do you mean by deallocation? Allocation means to assign. Deallocation to deassign, that is remove. So we are assigned some space for a variable. If I just for example, let us say you have reserved a seat for traveling from one place to another place. So for example, someone has reserved a space, a train travels from Delhi to Bangalore. So a person is traveling from Delhi to Hubli, but that person gets down in Hubli. So what happens to that place, to that seat? It is vacant now, right? So you have to say that seat is vacant and that will be allotted to another person who wants to travel after Hubli to Bangalore, somewhere like that. Okay, so you have to remove that from the reservation. That seat is not reserved from Hubli when the first person gets down in Hubli. So that it can be given to another person, right? In the same way, you have to deallocate. Once the work is done, completed in the memory space, then you have to remove that space so that it can be given to another person. This is what you mean by your deallocation, and this is done by your delete operator. This is done by your delete operator to deallocate the memory. Okay, understood? Delete is used to deallocate or remove the space or remove that variable from the space once its work is completed. The syntax is delete the pointer variable. This is a syntax. Example, delete IPTR. Okay, so here this IPTR, whatever it was assigned in the new operator, it is deallocated by the delete operator. Therefore, the 2 bytes of memory which was assigned, it can be used for something else, for a new allocation. This is what you mean by the new and the delete operators. And the next part in this chapter is your free store. What do you understand by free? No payment, right? So here it is a pool or a place which has a heap memory given to a program for dynamic allocation during your execution. That is, whatever the free memory that now we said, your free seat from Delhi to Hubli, it was reserved. At Hubli it is vacant, that is, it is free. So it can be used by something else. This is what you mean by your free store. Whatever that, and we say this was reserved from this place to this place. Now after that it is empty. So somebody else from Hubli who is going to reserve, they can take that place. So it is your heap memory. So objects allocated in the free store are used indirectly through your pointers. Okay. So this is what you mean by your free store. And the next part, very important part in this, is your pointers and functions. Pointers and functions. You know that we use functions so that it can be done faster. It reduces the complexities of the program. Debugging is easier, maintenance is easier, all these reasons are there, right? And we are using arguments in this, that is your local variable, formal, local, global, actual arguments, global variables, all these things we are using in your functions. So that is, you also have your calling function and called function, right? And the calling functions has the actual values, the called function has the formal values or the arguments. So when a call is made from the calling function to the called function, then arguments are passed, right? You know all these things. So sometimes it so happens that whatever the changes you make in the formal argument, it may affect or it may not affect the calling values in the calling function. All this has been done last year, right? So how can a function be invoked? A function can be invoked in 2 different ways, as you know. That is your call by value and call by reference, right? Call by value and call by reference. And this call by reference again can be used by in 2 ways, that is by passing references and by passing pointers. Okay, these are the 2 ways in which we are going to pass your values. Now let us continue with this session in the next session. We'll stop now.